What we do here is go back.
Hello there, brothers, sisters, and NBs. How are we all? I hope we're well. I'm certainly alive, and that's better than some people who are dead. Rest in peace. Fun fact, Kevin Logan is secretly the love child of Dave Lee Travis and Jeremy Corbyn. I'll take that. I will take that. Especially compared to the comparison that's going to be drawn first up. We'll get to it in just a second. Because we're going to be on with Helena, and I have an unfortunate looky-like that I've discovered this week. Didn't realise this was a thing, and I'll be honest with you, it has not done wonders for the confidence. The self-esteem, you know. Uno momento por favor. Or something like that. I don't know, I don't speak foreign. Where are we? Yes, we're going to be watching some Reform UK bullshit. And also some question time. We'll be doing some question time later. Because, you know, why not, I guess. What is this? I don't know what that is. Anyway. Oh, hang on. Fuck's sake. I'll keep bollocksing this up. I keep pressing the wrong fucking buttons. And that's not what I wanted to do. Right. Yes, we'll be on with Helena just shortly. And we'll get to listen to Nigel Farage talk. Isn't that a treat? Isn't that a wonderful treat for everybody? Aren't you excited? This would be the point where it would be very bad for me to ask for money, because, like, who's going to pay for that shit? But that's not how the Kev rolls, okay? When the Kev roll, when you expect me to ying, I yang. Facts. So you can give me money in the form of bits and subs here on the on Twitter, on Twitch. You can. You can. Oh, fuck's sake, Kev. Right, you can give subs to the community. You can do Amazon Prime. You can do Amazon Prime. If you get Amazon Prime, you can link that to your Twitch account for free. You get one free subscription every month, which you can use on shit channels or good channels like mine, or the other way around. Whatever. You can do bits messages. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. I've got PayPal. What's it called? Patreon, Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. Yeah. If you're on YouTubes, hello YouTubes. You can do. You can become a member for 99 pence. You can give memberships to the community, and you can do super chats, which I will read out. Hello there, lesbian hot sauce. Hopefully your holiday was well. Where did you go? I mean, you haven't got to tell me. I'm not keeping tracks or anything. But yeah, the geotag that I put on you fell off, so you know, the geo tracker just didn't do its job at all. You escaped. What the fuck am I talking about? Yes, for those interested, the meme on screen is of soon-to-be Vice President of the United States, Donald Trump Vance. That is his name. It is. John DeSantis Vance. I've seen so many edits of his face that I don't remember what he looks like. Because he's not on telly anymore. Like, has Trump literally banished him to the fucking, the netherworld? I don't know. But, like, he's gone now. So I don't remember what he really looks like. It's just, like, him as this thing, or him, like, bald, or they've taken the eyebrows off or something. I've seen ones of him dressed up like a little kid with a big lollipop. It's fucking mental. I've also seen some rather graphic fanfic of him fucking a couch. That was fun. Anyway. Anyone else looking... Farage is looking more like Keck every day. He is getting more froggy. He is definitely like regressing into his frog phase, I think. And that's not him becoming French, because as we know, he's actually German. Not on my timeline, I keep that JD for it. That's fair. That's probably the wise thing to do. But do I look like a wise man? No, I am a streamer. Those things are the exact opposite of one another.
Did you know that, Kev? That in the dictionary, next to the definition for Rizless, it's just a picture of Keir Starmer.
Because of all the Riz?
He's no Riz. He's Rizless.
Oh, Rizless. Oh, I thought you said Rizzlers. I was like, is this? Does he smoke cigarettes? What? Or is this a weed joke? I don't know. I'm not getting. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so Rizless.
Yes, the man with no Riz.
Talking of men with no Riz, I came across an unfortunate looky-likey today.
Really?
For myself. Now, are we aware of a man by the name of Stephen Yaxley Lennon?
I don't know anyone by the name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, unfortunately. He must use a pseudonym of some description.
I think he does. I think he uses the pseudonym Tommy Robinson because he's a wanker. Anyway, he is in prison currently. Can we get some lols in chat?
Heyo.
Yeah, and they've been whinging about him being in self-confinement, which is for his own good because he'd definitely get shanked up, you twat. They're doing that to keep you alive. Have some fucking it's probably not pleasant, but then again, if you can't do the time, don't do the series of crimes, you dopey bastard. Anyway.
No, it's true chair policing. You can't arrest white people.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I was reminded of this image, which I'd thankfully managed to blot out of my mind, but no longer, of him upon his last release from prison. And I'll be honest with you, it's just me. It's literally just that. It's just a picture of me. There he is.
Oh my god, it literally is, isn't it? Fucking hell.
It's literally me. And I'll be honest with you, I think this is the spur I needed to change. It's only when you hit rock bottom that you can really look inside yourself and find the energy necessary to really develop and progress as a person. I need to change up this look very significantly. Fucking hell.
It's one thing to look like Tommy Robinson, and another thing to look like Tommy Robinson after 32 days in the slammer.
Yeah, that's Jesus Christ. Oh no. Anyway, So
Actually, that's a good point. Morinakis there in chat says it doesn't look exactly like you. It's like you put you and Caleb Morpin through FaceApp.
oh, that's what. Oh, don't kick a man when he's down. Oh no.
It means it does look gonna. It means that Tommy Robinson looks like Caleb Morpin, not you. So.
But so I look like a hideous fucking amalgam of this freak after a fucking slate of porridge and the Spanky Tanky.
No. Other way around. It's he, because obviously he looks like Caleb Morpin, and you simultaneously. You don't look like Caleb Morpin.
Okay, but look, I mean, all I'm going to say is that you are putting a gloss on that I don't think the original correspondent was. And I appreciate that. You could say I'm giving thanks for your kindness, but frankly, I think it's undeserved. Anyway, so, no matter how bad your day has gone, chat, at least you didn't have that fucking brain cancer pouring into your system, okay? Facts.
Oh.
Anyway. Talking of brain
cancer... Have you seen the polls today? There's 2 new polls came out today.
I did. I saw that the Conservatives had taken a 2-point lead in the poll.
One poll.
Yeah.
And a 3-point lead in the second one, which had them on 30%. It's the first 30% poll since like June 2023.
Well, we really are at the end of the 2-party system then, really. Unfortunately, the third party is a fascist party, so that's not great. But
it's not good, is it?
No. And again, the fucking liberals are doing what liberals always do. When you're in trouble in the polls, tack right. Even though that's not going to fucking get you anywhere, you dopey bastards. I mean, did you see Sir Keith's great gambit of... here we go. Keir Starmer has organised the 3 largest deportation flights in UK history. Like, who are you appealing to here? Whose votes are you trying to win with this, exactly?
Ironically, like from an electoral perspective, it does kind of make sense because that's where they're losing votes. They're losing votes to reform. People seem to be misappropriating, or they seem to be misdiagnosing the increase in reform support as symptomatic of Conservative Party lack of support. I don't think that's true. I mean, if you're looking at the polling now, of course, there are some Conservative areas where they've lost votes, like seaside towns. Obviously, they lost seats in Boston and Clacton to reform at the last general election, and Great Yarmouth too. But in like northern seats in the northeast, that map that we saw from the people who signed the petition, Stats for Lefties put out, the MRP would show that Yvette Cooper's losing her seat to Reform UK. It feels like that actually Reform UK are fighting for Labour voters in the same as much as they're fighting for Conservative voters.
Right, but I don't think the Labour voters they're peeling away are necessarily have this as their main subject. I mean, if you look, for me, look at the responses. Now, I know it's Twitter, and so it's going to be garbage, but it's the Reform Party, so naturally, right? And you look at it, and it's, here we go, Labour spent years trying to block deportations. Utter rubbish. Reform UK is about, well, no, that's actually Gen Z for Starmer, whatever. Labour opened the borders in 97. You'd remove all of it, blah, blah, blah. Fuck off, you lying cunt. We all know what your plans are. Stop funding migrants with our money. 1 million people arrived, blah, blah, blah. No matter what he does, the people who would be won over by that kind of argument are not voting for the Labour Party.
I think that's right, but I think there's probably a lot of very kind of reactionary types who are saying these things. I think that's true. I think they are a lost cause. But my assumption is that in Labour internal polling probably has a bunch of these seats in the north where they're losing votes to Reform, where a bunch of them could be won back as long as Labour don't look like they're quote unquote soft on migrants, or at least pretend not to be or whatever. They might be won over if living standards go up. Of course, people are angry with living standards being so low at the moment, and therefore they're lashing out at scapegoats, hence why there's so much talk about. I mean, but of course, I think they think that they can increase people's living standards and also do this. I don't think they're going to do that, but I understand why they're making this claim. And it's more reason for us, right? More reason for us on the left to win, because then they're going to lose votes in urban progressive constituencies the Green Party should be targeting.
Absolutely.
So the more they tack right to try and fight over northern seats for reform, we should be absolutely snapping up seats in London, Bristol, Manchester, Sheffield.
But you know what? Actually, do you know what's more likely to win voters back from reform if you're the Labour Party? There's a story this week that certain councils are looking at having 3 weekly rubbish collection.
Jesus.
So it's gone from 1 to now 2 to now 3. That it sounds silly, right? It sounds like that's not the biggest issue in the world. Your rubbish is still going to get collected. You just have to hold on to it for longer, get a bigger bin, something like that, right? But people are fucking sick of this shit. The constant degradation. Everything getting worse and worse and worse. And it's not that we're getting a worse service for cheaper. We're paying more than we've ever paid before, except in wartime. And we're getting the worst service we've had since fucking wartime. Like, it's embarrassing. If this dickhead had any gumption to him, come out and say, we're returning all councils to weekly, but we will pay for this. The national government will put extra ring-fenced money to every single council in the country. Every week your rubbish will be collected. You'd earn millions of votes. Because that's something tangible in their everyday lives that he has stepped in and helped them with. This pandering to an electorate that don't want to vote for him anyway is rubbish and puts people like me off. Because as soon as he starts going on about, oh, yay, I'm the extra deporter, well, that's me never voting for you ever again, you prick.
I mean, that's true. But I was never voting for him anyway. But I know exactly what you mean. But I think that if they actually want to improve things materially, that would obviously be the thing that's important to them. I think that they think they can head these people off by being the increased living standards plus no more brown people party, which of course
But they're not even doing the increased living standards. Everyone's already fucking annoyed at them for freezing pensioners and making bus travel impossible.
That's basically true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
right.
That's
what I mean. The Liberals are doing liberal shit. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand their strategy 100%, but I just don't think it's going to be successful for what you've just laid out there. That this would rely on them ensuring that the bins get collected when the opposite is happening, and they're freezing pensioners, right? I don't think the Labour Party have quite grasped how angry the winter fuel cut has made the public. I really don't think they have.
No.
Literally, I was scrolling through TikTok Live the other day, and of course, this is an incredibly tiny sample size, right? But literally, the subject of discussion was pensioners, not migrants. They have allowed, through poor policy outreach, to make this idea, and because they're buying into household budget analogy of money in, money out, they are allowing the framing to be, well, if we're not giving money to pensioners, and we're not giving money to children or whatever, but we are or to the homeless, and we are giving money to the migrants in hotels, and we are giving money to the union paymasters, right? I literally have seen people say, well, you're choosing to pay doctors rather than heat pensioners. And because they refuse to just fucking tax the rich, they're going to lose loads of votes by people thinking that the government prioritizes some groups over others. And again, this is entirely downstream of their stupid fucking household budget rhetoric.
Yeah, no, they're just fucking wrong. It's the Morgan McSweeney wankfest that will come a cropper, and will lead to some sort of hideous 3-way permanent Osborneism through Reform, Tory, and Labour fuckery or whatever at the next election. I think this guarantees at the very least it will be a hung parliament. He can't win. He cannot win with this strategy, and he must know that.
I mean, he looks like it's going to be a hung parliament. I mean, because the thing, what's interesting as well is that I don't know what's true. I don't know where the support lies or not. So this is just speculation at the moment. But it feels to me like the support that Labour have left, I don't know how much of it is actually core Labour support anymore. I really don't. I don't know how many of these are Labour loyalist people who always vote Labour. That's part of the 25%? More in Common had them at. Or how much of them is just people who want to be opposed to the Conservative Party, who voted Labour because they were the main opposition, and then that's it. Because those people could be quite easily turned off, because there's loads of people, despite the swing constituencies all being anti-migration people, but there's probably plenty of people who want humane treatment of migrants, who want to rejoin the European Union, who will absolutely be put off by what he's been doing as who's supposed to be the anti-Tory rather than the Tory party but in a red tie, right? And not from our perspective on economics, but on a bunch of culture war shit on the EU.
I think you're making more of a distinction there than has ever existed between the idea of having a Labour loyalist and an anti-Toryist. I think there's always been essentially a significant... Like, I'm not suggesting that the Venn diagram is a circle. I'm suggesting there is a very, very significant overlap in those two groups of people. I don't think there are many. I don't think there were ever many like, yay, the Labour Party are fucking awesome. They're the best thing ever, people. And I don't think there are that many people who just want to be against the Tories. I think most of the people who've ever voted Labour have done so because they didn't like the Tories.
I think that's probably true, but I think that a lot of those people, maybe this is the kind of people that I see on the internet rather than on the ground, but I think there's
always a mistake. The internet warps things massively. If the internet were a guide to anything, then Bernie Sanders and Rand Paul would have been the election candidates this year. You know,
true. But the thing is, I just think that there is a large amount of people who are just like when I say a large amount of people, I just mean the pro-EU types. I really think that a lot of these pro-EU types, I used to think that they were actual progressives and who were I had disagreements on the European Union with. No, a lot of these people are like full on like establishment liberal types who love free markets and shit. And I think that they're the Blair babes of the 90s and 2000s who love the European Union and who love...
Well, that's a very different take on that phrase, by the way. Don't get those two groups mixed up. Jesus.
But what the kind of people who got professional careers out of the Blair administration, and who, because they hate the Conservative Party for social reasons or for pro-EU reasons, they naturally drift towards the Labour Party. But the more Keir Starmer does this, he might put a lot of these people off.
I think so,
especially being anti-EU as well.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of hay to be made for both the Reform Party and the Green Party. Yeah, 100%. I think we can absolutely say that at the next election, yeah.
It's why I've been super soft on the Greens being very pro-EU, despite my, again, not huge disagreements, but some disagreements, right? Yeah. I think that especially in the 18 to 40 age group, most people are pro-EU. I think it's like 80% or so supported Remain out of these groups, especially from the people who were eligible to vote at the time in the referendum. But they're also mostly kind of more socially liberal, socially progressive, and a lot of these people supported Jeremy Corbyn too. Yeah. It's a real mishmash of kind of incoherent positions.
The Green Party, I mean, all political parties to a degree are a coalition, but the Green Party is especially odd that you've got sort of more old school ecology party, almost borderline hippies, and then kind of hardcore socialists who have been disaffected by the Corbyn betrayal, if you will, or the betrayal of Corbyn, if you see what I mean. That it's an odd group of people that don't always necessarily match eye to eye in terms of certain things. The NIMBYism of the ecology type wing of that party is going to have to take a big fucking backseat if it's going to get anywhere.
Because you remember, at the under 45s age demographic at the last election, almost 50% of them voted Labour. That's gigantic. That's a huge margin. And the Conservatives were in fifth in this group. And especially amongst women, the Greens amongst like 18 to 24s were in second place, right? I think there is so much room for the Greens to absolutely peel off these voters if Keir Starmer goes incredibly regressive like this. So I think that the Labour majority, we already knew that it was built on sand, but their current polling numbers are built on an even shakier ground, I think. Yeah.
And again, I repeat this a million times, this was supposed to be the good bit. This wasn't supposed to be the difficult bit. When you first get in, you can do nice stuff and people like you. Whereas this has been like, it's like Rashid Sunak just whited up and carried on being Prime Minister. Like, at no point was there ever a period where it wasn't just, oh, the Prime Minister's a prick, everyone hates him. It just carried on. Never stopped. And the policies didn't really fucking change either, by the looks of it. So, yeah, it's awful. They're cratering, and it's going to get worse. Because, again, the reason I point this out is not just because I don't like this, but the people who are going to be convinced by this line of argumentation aren't going to vote for you anyway. The people who would go to Reform Party might have some fears about immigration, but it's not their biggest deal. They want to see their lives improve in some way rather than everything get worse and worse. And all he's doing is going, things will get worse and worse, but will be really horrible to brown people. Well, okay, well, you're not going to win then. Bye. Fuck you.
Yeah, it does look... Again, there's also another demographic of people. Like, a lot of the liberal types who support the Labour Party tax clear as an anti-Tory measure, they fucking hate the increase in business tax, the national insurance employer contribution stuff. They fucking hate it. They really do. And that could put a bit... Like, they seem to... It's... I guess they're just trying to do like Shorism, like this median voter stuff. I just don't think it's going to work.
No, no, it's really not. It's really not. They're playing by the old Blairite tactics in an era where Blairism is a dinosaur relic. It doesn't exist anymore. The centre ground isn't really there. It's like it's a mirage. You put your foot in it and it's like quicksand. It's nothing. It's here and gone. The people don't want that fucking shit anymore. They've shown that.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway. But unfortunately, what they do seem to want is some more Nigel Farage, even though he's one of the most thin-skinned pricks ever. Did you see this? This is amazing.
I did. It was very funny.
He is, honestly, like, this is what fascists sort of do. They're the bullies. They're the pathetic bullies. Any remotest bit of pushback and they can't handle it.
Involves being honest, though. Are you not concerned that he lied about what he did?
Did he? He wasn't vetted. He wasn't vetted. James McMurdoch was one of those many candidates who wasn't vetted at all by the party. Look, I didn't know any of them.
Okay, but that's not a defence. That's just, we're really incompetent. We're purposefully very incompetent about the people we put up as candidates. You can't blame us.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone who voted for us is a gigantic rube who are voting for people who we had no idea about, who are essentially just paper candidates that might actually win.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're calling yourself and all of your voters idiots.
Yeah. Well, they clearly are. Like, this guy spent more time in Donald Trump's arse than he has in Clacton. Like,
True.
He's not... He doesn't care, and neither does the Reform Party about representing anybody. You see this. He won't do a fucking MP surgery in Clacton because it's not safe. But it is safe to go on a march with tens of thousands of lunatics. But you know what? The difference is there are cameras with the lunatics. So guess which one he turns up to.
Yeah, quite.
That's when I took back over as leader.
So you said you're going to put in place the most vigorous vetting system in place now. Do you think James McMurdoch would not go through this new vetting system?
You can have your fun at Sky News. We've got 100,000 members. I've got 1 million followers on TikTok. Dame Andrea Jenkins has joined us. She's our candidate for Greater Lincolnshire. You've had your fun.
How many friends have you got? Well, I've got 1,000,001 followers on TikTok. Fuck me.
It's so Partridge.
It really is. And your amount of followers on TikTok has what to do with the price of eggs? What? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what's that an answer to, you prick? Why are you having scumbags as your candidates, is the question. And your answer is, I've got 1 million TikTok followers. Probably, yeah, but there are fucking hamsters with 10 million. Like, that doesn't mean anything, Nige.
I'm off for lunch. Thank you.
What an absolute cunt. I mean, just a really dreadful person on every conceivable level.
Oh, he's going to be fucking Prime Minister as well, isn't he?
No, I really don't think he has the time left as a political operative. Like, it's going to be, at the very least, I think, probably 3 or 4 election cycles before they're in any kind of position to do that. And he's going to be 80-odd or something, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. The electorate's fucking volatile. Desperate people go to desperate measures.
Well, possibly, but no, I mean, I don't see them going from 5 seats to 300 seats anytime soon. It doesn't really work that way. Like, and you got to bear in mind, they're only really doing quite well in parts of England, which is where the most of the seats are, but like, they're not targeting enough individual seats for them to realistically do it under the first past the post system.
And that's true. I mean, one thing's certain. Given the current supporter base that Labour have cultivated, there's no way we're getting proportional representation. It's not happening.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. But I mean, that's sort of the part of the problem, is that you're always going to have to rely on any political party who just got an election victory via first past the post to vote for their own removal of their majority. And no party's going to do that. That's just not how it works.
I think it's as well as we're at the point where potentially, you know, the right might gain more from ranked choice voting than the left might. Like I think there's probably I think there are probably plenty of Reform UK supporters who would rank Labour higher than the Conservatives, but it's not many.
Yeah, probably. Also, do we want to listen to this guy, or do we want to get on to Nigel and Andrea? Because this guy's probably...
Zia Yusuf. Yeah, this is to Nigel and Andrea. Andrea fucking Jenkins. Was she the one who put a middle finger up outside?
That is her. That's the one that put into finger art the attitude that Nigel has to his own constituents.
True.
Yeah. Thank you, James Holmes, for 5 gifted memberships on the YouTube. Don't forget, you can give us both money in the form of bits and subs on YouTube and messages and memberships on YouTube, on Twitch, and then memberships and messages on YouTube. I am very bad at this.
Thank you, Idiosyncrasy, for the 5 gifted, and Stu for the 5 gifted as well. I appreciate everyone's kind support.
Love it.
Good morning. Well, I think we've timed this press conference rather well, given that at 9:30 this morning we got the latest immigration figures.
Yeah, I haven't sped this up or made it weird. He talks like that.
Also, hasn't immigration gone down by like 20%? I mean, it was easy for it to go down because it was already very high. But like, you know, Labour can just say, "Oh, that's 20% lower. We've done our job. Fuck it."
Yeah. Actually, someone makes a very good point in chat. Nigel Farage, as they call him, doesn't target seats really. He campaigns like it's proportional representation. True, he campaigns as if it's still Brexit, as if it's still a 50-50 vote thing. He really does campaign in that way, and that's not how you win elections.
Well, no, and that's why I think that the Greens might, at the next election, there might be a weird position where Reform get like 18% of the vote, Greens get 10, and we get like double the number of seats that they do.
It really could be. It really could be. That would be hilarious because it would boil their piss so much. Honestly, especially if the Greens get to be at the cenotaph and Nige still doesn't.
Oh my god, it'd be so funny.
Imagine if we send a bisexual tiny queen to the cenotaph, and Nige has to just sit there like an angry frog. Let's go.
I'm not any old tiny bisexual queen. She'll be wearing a peace pledge poppy as well. She'll make people fucking furious. Oh, please, it'll be hilarious.
Please wear a Palestine like pin badge or something. Just it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to go dressed in a keffiyeh or anything. Just like just a little pin badge, because the Daily Mail would literally melt down. The Daily Mail would actually explode. Yeah,
there would be full on like actual heart palpitations.
It would be delicious. Oh my god, why is that? Why has that happened?
If you want to get a GP appointment. Horrendous if you want to travel.
These dickheads have frothed at the mouth about how they want to fucking privatise everything. Don't talk about wanting a fucking GP appointment, because I'm not going to be able to afford one in Nigel Farage's Britain. Dickhead.
Around Britain's motorways. Horrendous if you want your kids or grandkids to ever get a foot onto the housing ladder. Horrendous in terms of producing very disjointed societies and communities. And the message is pretty clear. 750,000 in the last year. And don't believe the lies and spin that it's a 20% reduction from the year before. It isn't. The year before's figures have been raised now in 2 installments by 230,000. So let's get it into our heads.
Hang on a minute. What? You just said they've made up some figures. How have they added numbers? These are official figures. They're from the government website.
Well, he needs it to be something weird. And maybe he's just thinking, Trump doesn't need to tell the truth, so why should I guess. It's very quiet, is it, on your end?
Yeah. Again, even if you turn up on your thing, because it's sharing from the tab, it won't go up on my end.
Okay, let's see if we can find another stream of it somewhere. Press conference? That's from a month ago. Reform UK press conference? That's just from them, but there's got to be someone else, isn't there? Is this any better?
We have all of them.
Oh, there you go. That's better. Okay.
Okay, I love how Zia Yusuf sounds like he's speaking from a fucking like shipping container.
Well, I think that for some reason this is just the audio Sky News has.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the vast majority of Zia's time and the vast majority of my time is focused on one simple thing.
Honestly, I'm beginning to think that Sky News might be leftist, because this audio is fucking atrocious. Wow.
And that is May the 1st next year. On May the 1st next year, we have the English County Council elections, some of them now, of course, unitary. There are 2,200 candidates that we need to find to fill those vacancies.
You going to vet any of them? Any this time? Because, like, if you actually do vet them, then you can be held accountable, can't you? Because you vetted them and they still ended up being Nazis. Curious.
They're a proper party now, though.
Oh, they're a proper party, yes. No, definitely. I believe that. I do.
Yeah.
So far, vetted and approved over 1,000 of them. And we put in place vetting standards far more rigorous than any political party in Britain has ever undergone before for people standing for local election. Those candidates will be beginning to be...
Just doing a CRB check doesn't count, Nige. That's but I should explain for Americans, that's the Criminal Records Bureau. Because one of their MPs is literally guilty of domestic abuse and served time. You know.
Adopted, in fact, starting at the end of this week, and I promised I'd democratise the party, and yeah, it's up to the branches. They can choose who the candidates are off the approved list. So we expect to hit the ground running, out there campaigning, door to door, leafleting, gathering data, ready for those elections on May the 1st, and we'll do that starting very early in the new year. So I think this membership of 100,000, milestone though it is but a fraction of what we're actually capable of achieving. People want something different, and to carry on from what Zia said, if you come to a reform event, you'll find happy people. We are happy warriors. And it's because we actually genuinely think that this never-ending cycle of negativity, of economic decline...
Mate, you spent the last 20 years plus telling us how shit everything is. Now, I sort of agree to an extent. Not necessarily with your prescriptions, but the fact that it is a bit shit. You don't get to be like, we're happy and super awesome, but you should be scared of all the browns. Like, that's... Come on.
And that's the thing, is his point was like, well, economic decline. I'm just like, yeah, because of your ideology. Who was it who said that Liz Truss's budget was finally a proper conservative budget? You know, the one that crashed the economy?
Yes, indeed so. Also, he's a wanker banker. He's literally the problem.
Yeah, commodities broker. Literally makes money off of money.
Yeah. A worthless human being. A waste of existence.
And societal decline can be turned around with strong leadership. In fact, I think that's what the American public thought at their recent elections. And boy, am I looking forward to my new friend, Elon Musk, taking on the administrative state in America.
Wow, I'm a populist. I'm new friends with the richest man on earth. Thanks, Nige. You really get the idea.
Again, yeah, literally, it's ridiculous. It's like, I'm gonna get like Elon Musk, like, I'm a populist. I'm gonna get rid of loads of consumer protections and cut taxes for the rich and get rid of gut social security. Like, yeah, how populist? Really got the interests of the people.
I wonder how many of the billions of dollars each year he receives in public subsidy will be cut.
I know, Ryan. I think it's. Did you see that there was it like is in Texas or whatever, or was it Louisiana, where the Republican legislature cut corporate and top rate income tax and then increased sales tax to cover it, so poor people have to pay like 10% more for basic essentials, except corporations now pay far less tax.
Well, there's your GOP for you.
Absolutely. America first.
Approve a blueprint that perhaps we can use if things go well after 2029. So one other number I want to point out to you.
After 2029? Oh yeah, 5 years from 2020. Okay, right, I'm with you. Right.
And that
For some reason that sounded so far in the future, and yet in 5 years it will be 2029. I'm just very old. Please ignore me.
is my personal TikTok account, which last week went...
Jesus Christ, mate. Yeah, we get it. You're very popular on fucking... You're one of the best e-girls in Parliament. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's funny to me how, I got loads of followers on TikTok, and it was by saying hawk tour on your bussy until it claps.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, and you maybe have some policies on TikTok rather than just doing memes.
No.
But I guess that's how you connect with the kids nowadays.
Exactly. Just say Big Chungus a lot. That counts as policy, doesn't it? I think so.
Through 1 million followers. And we get tens of millions of views on my TikTok account every single month. 2/3 of that million are under the age of 35. Half of them are under the age of 25. Something
And the rest of them are looking for people under the age of 16.
Hey.
Boom.
remarkable is happening with Gen Z. And it's not just happening here.
Oh, well, that's not very pro-America of you there, to call it Gen Z, Nigel, please. I don't think your new friend Elon Musk, or your old friend who definitely didn't ignore you at the RNC, they would not be happy with that pronunciation.
And also on top of that, he says, oh, well, Gen Z are going to be supporting Reform UK. They're moving to the right. I'm just like, that's just not true. Like 18 to 24s voted 50% for Labour. Like, you chat and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Yeah, he's really making a political wave with his big shout-outs to Mo Lester. Now, that's basically the same as having policy. It's fine.
At the last election, where Trump got 44% of the under-30s to vote for him, something that was unthinkable in 2016 and 2020. And it's happening across much of the rest of Europe too. A lot of those that seem to support me are 16 and 17, which is perhaps why the Labour government have decided not to lower. I put forward as a suggestion, I don't know. But there's something very exciting happening.
Do you want to crawl out of your own arsehole for a second? Like they give a like they're not fucking formulating policy based on you. Well, except the migrant stuff, I guess. But like they're not. They go back on their policies left, right, and centre. It's not because of you. It's because some rich cunt bought it.
And again, the evidence shows that even 16 and 17-year-olds, they said they would vote Labour anyway.
Yeah, but these he's been on the TikTok fucking demographics page, and he knows all about the age groups. He's got a big, Nige, some dickheads online watch your shit. I mean, I've watched shit on you. I would classify as someone under the age of 40 who's watched your fucking TikToks, you prick. And I think you would be better if you Minecraft, okay? Like, it's not necessarily an indication that you're going to win that vote, because we just had an election and you didn't.
Yeah.
What you have to do is to turn that enthusiasm into people that actually register and go out to vote, and it's going to be one of the main jobs that Zia and I have over the course of the next few years. So I'm very pleased with the progress that we've made. I think there is a feeling, 2/3 of the British voting public, 2/3, say they would like a proper alternative to vote for, not just the main two that have been around for the last 105 years or so. And we intend to fill that gap. This time last year, I was in the Australian jungle, and my thoughts were very...
Yeah, you're a very serious man. I've watched you eat a kangaroo's anus. That's a thing I've watched this man do. He wants to be Prime Minister. I mentioned these two things disparately. You can draw your own conclusions.
I mean, to be fair, people vote for Boris Johnson. They vote for any old shit.
That's basically true.
Far away from re-entering the political fray. I thought, well, at last I've got a big payday and I can enjoy life. But I just couldn't stand by and watch Brexit be squandered in the way that it was by the Conservative government. None of the potential advantages that it was offered other than foreign.
No, not true. Not true, Nige. Blue passport, motherfucker. Got one right here. Yeah, because I was filling out I was filling out my tax thing for Twitch earlier, so I had to get that out. Anyway, yes.
I managed to get in my maroon passport at the last minute because I'm a Remainoid.
Oh, wow. Well, so you don't get any of the benefits then?
No, exactly.
Honestly, these maroon peasants, it's embarrassing, really. What you want to be is blue passport royalty. Come on now.
Policy, frankly, have been taken up. We've got self-government back. Now we need the right people in charge.
We already had that, you dopey cunt. Shut the fuck up. It's not 2015. You don't have to carry on lying. You got what you wanted. Shut the fuck up. God, he's an annoying bastard.
He is, isn't he?
People actually believe in the nation, believe in their people, and are unafraid to take on the centre-left consensus.
Well, the centre-left can eat my fucking arsehole. I also have an Irish passport, Cather, but for tax purposes I have to use the UK one because that's where I live and I don't want to go to jail for lying.
All of our public services in this country, including, sadly, our educational establishment. So, to make it clear, we believe in Britain. We've only just...
You've done nothing but talk shit about Britain your entire political existence, Nige.
Or isn't it terrible how Britain's got too many brown people, too many thugs, too much crime, too little privatisation, too high taxes, too close to Europe, like too woke. Like all he does is talk about how shitty he thinks Britain is.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I do from a different perspective, but I'm not the one here like, we think Britain's fucking awesome. No,
exactly,
you don't. No, you don't, Nige. Tell me one thing you even like about Britain. Yeah, I was going to do the fucking old, what's his fucking name? John Major thing of doing it's warm beer and cricket on the village green. Bollocks, isn't he? He's going to do that thing. An England that never existed but for like 50 fucking people. Prick.
Started, but we are on our way. You can judge how well we're doing when we hold a press conference on May the 2nd. But I believe we're going to win a very large number of county council seats up and down this country. Now, we said that when we hit 100,000 members, the lucky winner would go out for a pint with Lee Anderson. Now, I fear that was...
God, it's like fucking... It's like fucking this morning. We have all of your numbers. We're going to draw a name out of the hat and you get to go to Chessington World of Adventures with Richard Madeley.
Honestly, that sounds preferable. That sounds preferable. Because I want him to recreate the moment, still my favourite Richard Madeley moment, got to interview Bill Clinton. He'd only just stopped being President of the United States. It was a big get. And he spent 8 minutes talking as Bill Clinton listened. And then he asked some vague question to him. And I was just like, if he just got up and left, what would be different about this scenario? Why are you, Richard Madeley, still fucking talking?
Richard Madeley gets so many interviews with like people who've been heads of state, and he just treats it like they're fucking like Z-list celebrities.
Well, because that's what he's used to. Look, he takes the same approach to interviewing like Kofi Annan as he would fucking I don't know a winner of X Factor. Yeah. Just absolute madness.
Yeah, there's an interview with the president of Guyana, and it's so cringe. It's unfathomably cringe.
Why would the president of Guyana want to be interviewed by this man?
I don't know. I don't know.
What the fuck is that about? What? Oh God! Imagine them pitching that. They're in the meeting, like, what are we going to do for the show next week? Well, we've got an interview with Kerry Katona on Monday. Okay. Tuesday? Anything for Tuesday? The president of Guyana. And he went, yeah, that'll do. That seems appropriate as a follow-up to our segment about the menopause or something. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, thank you, Andreas, with the super chat. Hey, Kev, are you Irish or Northern Irish? There is no such thing as Northern Irish. That isn't a real thing. The border in Ireland is when your feet get wet. End of.
Yeah, exactly. Are you from 26 counties or are you from 6? There you go.
Well, quite.
The use of the singular strikes me as being very unlikely with Lee. And by sharing...
Isn't it funny? One of my MPs is an alcoholic. Brilliant.
I mean, to be fair, a good way of connecting with Britain, to be honest. Yeah.
To be honest, that is a representative. That is the most representative any MP can be. What you need to be is racist, drunk, and violent, because that is a big part of the constituent, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you can even forget like racist or violent, just being drunk, and then you're like 50% of the population already. To be honest, at this point.
True, but in Parliament they're all coked up. The rich man's drunk.
Exactly. He's down with the people. He's a man of the people. I don't do any of this white shit, right?
Exactly.
If I'm gonna get plastered, I'm just gonna be good, proper British beer.
Exactly, the kind of British beer that might just hasn't really brewed properly. It's got bits in it. It's gross, but that's what you should do because it's British. British.
Proper British.
Coincidence.
I want Britain to be about British.
British.
The 100,000 member happens to be a former Conservative member of Parliament. Who'd believe that? Isn't that extraordinary? It should have worked out that way. Her name is Dame Andrea Jenkins. And not only is Andrea joining the party, but after an internal selection process, she has now been selected as our candidate.
Yeah, sorry, the internal selection process of I told her she could have it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we will definitely, honestly, it's going to be democratic, we promise. All of the branches will definitely get to choose them, except the ones where I just go, nah, this person, and that's it. But it is democratic, honest.
I do think we'll see more defections, though. It'll be interesting to see.
Oh, I don't doubt that for a second. But the idea that this is a real political party, and not just still Nigel Farage's fucking political comesock.
Is vanity project. Yeah.
The newly created mayor of Lincolnshire on May the 1st next year, and I believe she has every chance of winning. Dame Andrea, I hope you're here.
I'm so annoyed of seeing these fucking twats who used to be in Parliament on TV all the time. We've got two more of the wankers on the fucking question time
Oh my god, yeah, we do, don't we?
Oh god, just when you get voted out of office, fuck off. You've been given a very clear signal by the British people that they don't want to hear from you anymore. Fuck off. Fucking hell. Did you know 3 out of every 10 people in this country is Jonathan Ashworth? Literally.
Oh dear.
I have to admit, I feel a bit shaky in the back of the stage. Today, I've joined the party of the brave. Our once great country is at a crisis point.
Are you going to mention that you were part of the government that did all of the immigration? Is that look? Because you know he's going on about immigration was out of control, and he mentioned the numbers and how bad that was. That was under your government, you dopey bastard. That was literally, those are Tory numbers because the Labour Party literally just got in. These are numbers for last year when your government were in, Andrea. Do you remember that? Okay.
Labour's record speaks volumes already. You must agree. They have compromised our British territories, fleeced our farmers.
Go on, sorry.
What record? There's no Labour record. They've been there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, true.
And they're punishing our pensioners. Their policies are anti-business.
Did you do anything in terms of taking money off the underprivileged in society, Andrea? In government?
No, nothing at all.
No. You were very anti-austerity, clearly. Otherwise, it would be massively hypocritical for you to have a go now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, quite.
Like, for instance, the wonderful moment at Prime Minister's questions yesterday, when the now leader of the opposition, a certain Bad Enoch, criticised the electronic vehicle mandate, where they're going to try and phase out all petrol cars for electric cars, you know. And attacking the Labour Party for that. And it had to be pointed out to her that not only did this happen under a Tory government, but she was literally business secretary at the time. Brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant. I mean, just Round of applause for that. That is spectacular levels of idiocy. I honestly didn't think it was going to get worse than Rashid, and yet we're there. I can't even call him by his real name anymore. I keep forgetting.
Oh, that's the thing. It's Rashid Sunook, and it's Keith Stonger. Like,
Yeah.
Sir Kid Starver. They don't have real names anymore.
Yeah.
Jam Man, Jumbly Crumbly Concrete. Like,
Yeah, I love that when you interviewed him. Don't call him Jumbly Crumbly Concrete. Don't call him Jeremy.
Anti-aspiration and detrimental to all that we hold dear as a country. In the past 5 months...
I want to ask these people what they think we hold dear as a country. Because, again, she was a part of a government that literally just wanted to break the law. They just wanted to break the law completely. They're just like, no, we can just ignore international law. Fuck that. Although, to be fair, they were ahead of their time, because it seems that France want to do that with regards to Netanyahu now. Just said, now we're not going to enforce international law. So we can all stop pretending now that the international rules-based order is a thing, which is nice.
Did you see David Lammy came out and realised that maybe he should be actually appealing to what the public actually think?
What did he say?
Well, he said that he confirmed that he would ensure that Netanyahu was arrested if he came to the UK.
Oh wow, we're to the left of France. Jesus.
I know, right?
Honestly, France, sort yourselves the fuck out, lads. That is tragic. If we are besting you on the not being a cunt on the international stage, you need to sort yourselves out. Honestly, this is embarrassing.
Oh, it looks like Michel Barnier's government might collapse, which is really funny.
Well, good, because it's illegitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck him. Yeah.
Yep.
See, our British people have been locked up for expressing their opinions, while real criminals are being released.
Do you mean expressing your opinions as in starting riots?
Yeah, inciting racial hatred.
Yeah.
And again, who was in government when these laws were introduced, Andrea? Which political party were in government when the rules that were broken were put on the statute books?
SDP? Probably SDP.
Yeah, probably SDP, yeah, absolutely.
Early onto our streets. This is not the Britain that we deserve. But in times of crisis...
Also, again, I do just want to say, they didn't handle the situation well in terms of the selection of which criminals would be released early. People who were guilty of tax evasion were kept in prison, and rapists were released, for instance. It does appear they went eeny, meeny, miny, mo on each wing and just let some people out, dickheads. Anyway, but the fact that they had to do that was because your government were potentially criminal in their negligence in terms of dealing with the overpopulation in prisons, to the point where we literally didn't have any space left in the prisons.
Yeah, and where they called an election to avoid being scrutinised on their potential malfeasance.
Yeah, so tough on crime or something? Question mark.
We need strong leadership. We need those patriotic, brave hearts to be a true voice for the people, and reform is that voice. We need a party that champions truth, that stands up for the underdog.
Does she have control of her facial muscles? I'm not sure, because she just appears to just do a big wide-eyed face every now and then, and I'm not sure what's going on. Whether it's the Gordon Brown thing of just do a face every now and then to make it so you're not dead or something,
I was going to make a really nasty joke, and I've just thought better of it.
Well, I heard the first word of it, and you know what? I would have stood by you. I'm just saying. We'll leave it. But just.
And that listens to the people. And this is why I have joined Reform. Under Nigel's bold riches, and the sharp intellect of Zia, Reform UK is surging and membership is soaring. We will be ready to challenge the tired two-party system, and we will deliver the fresh start this country.
Yeah, the tired two-party system by doing everything that the Conservative Party do, but slightly more.
Also, yeah, the tired two-party system that I was happy to be a part of up until 4 months ago.
When half of that magically started doing badly in the polls.
Yeah, crazy, I know. And I jumped ship because I knew I was going to lose.
I thought Reform UK didn't like people who were fleeing rickety boats.
Exactly. Stop the boats.
Desperately needs. Now, leaving the Conservative Party, a party I've cherished for decades, was not an easy decision. I've long believed in conservatism and the principles that it should stand for. I stayed loyal. I fought to the bitter end in the general election, going down with a proverbial ship. But the truth is undeniable. The ship is sinking, and perhaps sadly, beyond salvage. But enough is enough.
She's literally making the fucking ship analogy. She's literally making the ship analogies herself.
Yeah.
And the jokes write themselves, you know. Like,
I really do.
She's literally fleeing the Conservative Party on a small boat, you know, across the right-wing channel.
Yeah,
the GB News, across the GB News channel.
True. She's of military fighting age as well. It's an outrage.
Exactly.
A movement with vision and with purpose, and the courage to fight for Britain's future is Reform UK. The movement, and together we will save the country. I'm incredibly honoured to be chosen to stand as a Reform candidate for the Mayor of Greater Lincolnshire.
Mayor? The mayor? I'm sorry, you can be as northern as you like. You don't need to say mayor. Mayor. It's fine. I will even take the posh mayor. But mayor is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
It was like when we had someone, was it Jonathan Dimbleby on Laura Koonsberg, said yeah. And I was like, yeah. No, I think you mean year.
Yeah. Also, when she says, like, oh, I'm so glad to be been selected, it's because you used to be a Tory MP. They can flash you up there's like, oh, it's another defection. That's literally it.
I love how the start of the speech was just like, yeah, he was our 100,000th member. Like she'd clicked a pop-up from like 2002.
Yeah.
Everyone knows me as a Yorkshire lass, but I actually have
Everyone knows me. Everyone knows me as a Yorkshire lass.
Yeah, you sound like Jeffrey Boycott. Calm down. Fucking hell.
Also, it's 9 p.m. Should we leave this bell end and start watching?
That is not a very nice way to speak about the soon-to-be mayor of fucking Lincoln or whatever.
Greater Lincolnshire. It'd be funny if she comes in like 4th or some shit.
Well, she probably will. Yeah, I imagine. BBC iPlayer. I should have had this set up really. A professional streamer would have done, but I am not a professional or frankly good streamer. From the 28th. Yeah, that's today. Oh fuck yes, I've got a fucking. I mean, who has ever seen that come up? Do you have a TV license and said no?
Ambassador. Rory's...
No one has ever done that. It's fucking nonsense. Hang on. We need the intro. Where would we be without the intro? Right, 1 second. Oh. Dee-dee-dee-dee.
On the panel from the government is Lisa Nandy. She's the Cabinet Secretary for Culture, Media and Sport and has been the MP for Wigan since 2010. So
notice that they said the MP for X, Y and Z, because that's the only fucking member of Parliament on the panel tonight.
Oh shit, I need to turn off fucking YouTube. Thank you for the reminder. For Fluffy Snowcap given the prime. Yes, so everyone who's watching on YouTube, we now have to terminate the YouTubes, unfortunately, because otherwise we get copyright cucked.
True.
So I'm gonna put the link for Twitch into the